The dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Eat the cat, eat the cat. Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Eat the cat, eat the cat. Eat the cat.
Hey.
Late nights.
What's going on? Late nights, after darks. It's been like a month, you know? I mean, hey, what's up? We're back.
Yeah, we are.
And we had new little intro music. Thank you, Mo. I do want to show the original content. I'm not who the original person was that made the song, but in case you missed it, in case you're just tapping in, we need to just show this lady vibing out to this song in the remix.
Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Eat the cat, eat the cat. Eat the cat.
Yeah. Love it. You gotta love that, right?
You gotta love it. How can you not?
Exactly.
I mean,
you got to. What are you gonna do?
Listen, we haven't been together. We haven't been out here on the show for a minute now. There's been so much to cover that it was hard to even try and put it into a show or put it into what we can talk about. I'm trying to just stick to most recent stuff because so much has happened. But if you tune in, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you share with friends. Say hello. It's been a minute. We appreciate you guys. We do want to say and honor the 9/11. Today's 9/11.
Right.
And it's been, what is it? Gosh, 23 years.
23 years. Yeah.
23 years. Shout out to our girl, Natalie. She gave us, Natalie has some facts. So she gave us some facts. So I just wanted to, we were able to go see the 9/11 memorial last year when we were in New York for the Seahawks Giants game. But she let me know that more people have lost their lives that were in the rubble trying to help save and get through the stuff. The rubble there have lost their lives since then that lost their lives at 9/11 in the parish there, which is crazy. Like over 370 first responders who were at 9/11 helping at the site have lost their lives since because of health issues that have happened
from the rubble.
with the conditions from the rubble.
Yeah.
I guess there was like maybe 1,700 first responders just in the tri-state area that still suffer from issues.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Not to mention the PTSD of people that have worked in the industry or that were passengers that day, and all of that. Just shout out to them to try to stay strong. Yeah, that was a devastating time. I worked for American Airlines during that time, and I remember that day. I remember that day, and it was just one of those things that just was kind of beyond disbelief that actually happened.
I remember I was starting my first job after college. And I'd flown the night before from San Diego to Seattle to get back home. And I woke up and they were like, we're not going to work today. Because Seattle, they thought would be like the next big city that would get hit if it was like a huge terrorist attack through like all of the country. So all of Seattle was closed for like a couple days. But yeah.
Yeah, right. But I remember that airline, just everything was quiet. Everything was just shut down. It was just like a silent day. Like you just couldn't believe it. Nothing, no phone ring, no nothing.
And not to be laughing, but prior to 9/11, there was no real TSA. There was no pre-check. You could walk in and out them gates.
You could meet take all your friends at the gate. Like you could legit go to the gate.
All of that. You could do all of that, which is so wild now to think about it. But it's also just like, what do you do?
Because you have people born that are like 23 years old and never knew that there was a time where you could go and meet people at the gate. Yeah. Grew up with a pre-check.
Or that you got searched, or that there was metal detectors, or
like
any of that.
Yeah.
There was none of it. It was crazy. Right. Speaking of which, thanks, Natalie. Thanks for tapping in. Hey, Jonathan. I appreciate it. What's up, Heather? Thanks for tapping in. I'm sure Mo doesn't want to talk to you too much after this last weekend, but I need to ask about the fight, but we'll get to that because I didn't catch it. I kind of must have tuned out that game towards the end, but
I mean, your
we
game
also
was running simultaneous to mine. I don't expect you to watch my game.
I
Like,
well,
your game was at 105
I was
and
at
mine was at
Circus, so
105.
they were all on, but of course I was more focused on my game. Plus our second
Exactly.
half is how we came back, but you know, it's just
Yeah. Everybody
you
that
know.
won week 1, congratulations. Very happy for you. Moving right on.
Hey, but before we get into all of our issues, we got to just talk about the bingo card frenzy, because I think bingo card stamps have been going off like hotcakes this week, last week. Here's just a rundown, and then we're going to talk about them. Of course, we heard our song earlier, the cats and dogs, that cats and dogs are being eaten by illegals in Springfield, Ohio. That was one thing not on my bingo card this month. Angel Reese out for the season. Did not see that one coming. Deshaun Watson, another lawsuit.
Maybe
I didn't see that. I didn't see it coming. I guess I figured like they were all part of
coming, but I'm not surprised that this is
not
the distraction
surprised.
we're gonna have because he had a full performance game. So this is what we're gonna pull. So we'll go with that.
Shannon Sharp, Uncle Shay's live on our Instagram. We'll get into it in a sec. And then Dak Prescott becoming the highest paid player in the NFL. I didn't see that one coming.
I didn't think he was going to sign with Dallas. I didn't see that coming either. But
I did not see that.
2024.
So yeah, it's crazy. Heather or Natalie, she said, "What Angel Reese is out?" I don't know where you've been, but it's been maybe.
Well, she's not on social, but if you're not watching ESPN 24/7, you'll never hear about
it. She has fantasy basketball. She should have some kind of things, you know. I don't know.
If her notifications are off, she may not know.
She don't even answer her text, let alone
get a notification. Not really putting it out there, like it's just kind of, you know. If you don't have social media, she's not going to see it. I'm just going to put it to you right there. And there lies in the problem. If you're watching ESPN 24/7, they're not talking about it as much. Like, where would you get that information? That brings a good point to those that are on there. We need more media attention on this, and they don't talk about it. First Take didn't talk about it, did they? Maybe a blip and then went well. Like,
they probably, you know. Well, here's the deal. I don't have ESPN right now because of DirecTV. So all of my ESPN I'm getting through ESPN Plus because I have the app. But other than that, I don't get to watch it on my TV anymore. So I'm a little behind on the ESPN.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, if you don't catch it on there or Fox Sports or whatever the case may be, I don't know where you would get that information. Right.
It's wild times right now. So we'll get into a little bit about the debate last night. Of course, we saw Kamala go up against Donnie in what I'm not sure. And here's the deal, you know, again, we've noticed this before, like everybody has their own opinion, everybody has their side, who they like, whatever. But I don't know how people could watch that same debate and see two different things. I don't know how you saw Donnie answering all of his questions and winning the debate. I don't see that. I think realistically, if you're on that side and you're probably like, you know, we didn't do so well. Understood. So anyways, listen, Kamala definitely came through with some wonderful facial features, facial expressions as she was trying to talk with him or listen in on him. And there's a little chart here of 1 through 10. I'm definitely a number 10, 24/7 in my days and nights. This is what my face looks like to people. But it was interesting. We heard a lot of stuff. We heard about.
I'm trying to look at it closer, like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you want that again? Here you go.
No, I just heard. I think I'm like 6 or 2.
Yeah. I'm definitely a 10. I feel like I could be any of them at any time, but 10 is like the that's the 24/7 look, huh? What? That's the look right there.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond just his inability to answer questions, the moderators, you know, we thought that the mics were getting muted, but it felt like there was always a rebuttal, like you were always allowed to rebut. And I felt like that was, I think, helped in the fact that it allowed him to dig himself deeper into a hole, but at the same time as I didn't want to keep hearing from you. So answer a question, you got your 2 minutes, next. But there was always this allowing time for rebuttals. And I don't know. How do you feel the moderators did in their position?
I thought they were great. I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of people are saying it was a 3-1 that he was going up against, and he probably does feel like he was ganged up on because they didn't fact check her. I'm sure
Yeah.
the fact is that they didn't need to fact check her because most of the stuff she was speaking was facts. Some of it was
Right. Yeah.
contextual, though. She dog walked him, plain and simple. And at this point, I think we have to speak to the people that are just kind of undecided and
Yeah.
still remain undecided. I think she needs to call for a second debate. Bring it on if
I
he's
believe
willing
she has
to
tried, but
do
he
it.
doesn't want it. He's not gonna.
I
I don't think he'll do
mean,
it.
then bring on the vice presidents. Let's see what that's going to be.
Yes. Let's
My only takeaway from
go.
her was at the beginning when she didn't answer the question of progression in 4 years to what we had 4 years ago. I think she could have answered a couple things on that, but she really nailed it and got into her own later on and kind of drilled in what her plan was. And it wasn't a concept, it was actually
Right.
plans of what her future looks like under her presidency. And a lot of people need to take civics classes and understand how this system of the three branches of government works and what the job
Absolutely.
duties of vice president to president is and how Senate and Congress work. And, I think we knew she was going to do this. We already saw it coming that she was going to bring the heat, and she did.
Mm-hmm. And she
She
did.
totally did. And my mind is made up. I mean, the only thing we're out here convincing possibly are those that don't. The ones that do feel that Trump water are the same people that live in the
Sure.
deniability of everything they make
What's
excuses and
going on?
dismissals for. There's no changing those minds. You pray that they change their hearts eventually, but you can't change their mind on that. That's what they see. Go for it.
And
You
that's
know.
why we need to just work with those that are undecided, because I know there's still a lot of them
Well, that's what I
out
said.
there.
You gotta speak to that. The MAGA's gonna be MAGA. They gonna do what they do.
Yeah.
And
Alicia, yes.
so it's just,
We heard a lot of things during the debate. We heard him talk about that they're eating cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio. So we want to make sure that all of our cats and dogs are
like I
safe.
don't want that to be a thing. I hope
Tilly
they're
was
not
not
doing that.
thrilled to hear that, and she was very adamant of me posting for her on Facebook because she's not with it. She's not with it. So that was weird and odd. We heard
But the
about
thing
that.
of it wasn't just that he generalized the cats and dogs. He generalized a whole ethnic group of
Haitians,
people,
yes,
a nationality of eating these cats and dogs, and that's very
right,
problematic within itself, and definitely
very.
untrue. So
Well, and
it's
then
the
he
same
also,
misinformation you get when he said the birther thing. He didn't believe Obama was from this country. I mean, he said a lot of things. I mean, do we
it's a
have to
lot of
keep?
stuff,
We don't
right?
need to keep knowing this is who he is. Like, why are we surprised? This is who this man is. This man does not never ceases to amaze me because this is who he is.
Well,
And
and
you
then
either
he,
take it for what it is. But
then him talk.
I have to give him props. He's made it the most entertaining election year ever. And to
I
your point,
think
I
they
would
had
have
the most
never had it.
viewers there too.
Yeah, I mean,
Happening.
listen, he's always going to be an entertainer. He made it very entertaining.
Oh, sure. He had
Having
a whole
that
reality
get
show.
in
I
there.
mean, come on, let's go, right?
And it's sad
One
and
of the things,
unfortunate that is who we have to go up against, and we have to be pristine and on point and do all these things as women of color, just to even look like
anything,
we can go unmatched to him. Like we
gotta
have to
do
go to
100
a
times
higher
harder.
thing. Just it's crazy,
Yeah.
but that's who he is. So
It
I don't know.
entertained me with his moving car manufacturers to Mexico owned by Chinese, which I thought that was an odd take. He also mentioned that Kamala was supporting transgender illegal aliens in jail trying to get surgery. I
Yeah,
mean,
like
it
I
was
knew what he was meaning by that because she had proposed a plan of
right.
having transgenders' rights protected while they're in custody. But that doesn't mean that she was going to grant them surgeries or anything like that. She was looking at ways
No,
to protect them.
absolutely
But that's just
not.
anybody in their old senility mind taking it a whole nother level forward. So
Sure.
that's what we saw.
It's wild. One thing that did happen at the end of the debate, though, is that all the Swifties, or at
Oh
least
yeah.
Taylor Swift, has brought her um, following along as she put her support for Kamala Harris, and also posted a picture of her kitty because she is a single cat lady, Miss Olivia Benson. So she is a huge SUV fan apparently as
Oh, I
well.
love it.
I love it. Yeah. So Taylor is out there.
Yeah, that was
And from
huge.
what people have said today, it's like Caitlin Clark liked the post. So people are now saying, since Caitlin liked it, that maybe we're never going to hear her political stance, but to see that she liked it, who knows? Maybe. You never know. Yeah. So from one debacle to a next, Tyreek Hill heading to the game on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
In Miami, gets pulled over for supposedly speeding, and not that he was clocked speeding, but the cops assumed it was about over 60 miles an hour just from visualization.
Yeah, because it was a McLaren. More money than what they got and what they make. And how dare he have a McLaren?
How dare he? How dare he be black?
How dare he
on the way to a football game
on command and show my power of authority?
Yeah, so basically,
to the city,
right? Tyreek was like, "Hey, give me the ticket. I gotta go," and they were like, "No." Right. And he rolls up his window, and they're like, "Nope, you're just, drag him out." They put him to the ground. There's multiple officers on him, holding him down. People heading to the game are seeing all this. One of his teammates, Calais Campbell, then arrives too and gets out, and then also gets arrested, or not arrested, but handcuffed during this whole debacle. Eventually, Tyreek was given a couple of tickets and sent on his way, but.
Yeah, because his lawyer showed up. And as soon as the lawyer showed up, the gates opened and
and it's not like they didn't know who he was. You know who he was. You had it ID.
When the lawyer showed up, they were like, well, we don't.
The video, the footage, the cams,
the body cam.
Body cams came out. They showed everything. It was just ridiculous.
And what was even one of the officers knew he was Tyreek Hill. He's like, whoa, that's Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. So they said on the left there is Tyreek at 10:30 a.m. On the right of that second pic, or the first picture, is Tyreek at 3:15 p.m. So him and of course Waddle got into a little touchdown celebration. Once Dan Rappaport reported that Scotty Scheffler stretches in jail. Remember Scotty Scheffler got arrested before the Masters? He stretched in his jail cell in the morning, shot 66 in the majors in the afternoon. Tyreek Hill, chest to pavement in cuffs in the morning. He got 130 yards that game and a touchdown in the afternoon. So this is, maybe
that's the new kind of energy you need.
Maybe that's the new. I don't know. Tyreek did come out and say that he should have done better, that he could have let down his window. He could have, just, obeyed some instructions, but that in the end, he's human. He's got to follow the rules, but he wants to make sure he's using his platform and that everybody understands that what they also did was over and beyond what they needed to be doing.
Absolutely. We sure could have, but it's just annoying. It's like anybody that's headed to work and you just say, you know what, give me my ticket. The lecture does not come with you giving me the ticket. And there's officers that will pull you over and try to give you, look, I didn't ask for the lecture. Just give me my ticket so I can go.
Please.
And basically that's what you want. But they want to flex so badly of their power and feel like I'm trying to help you, but you already gave me a ticket. If you're going to, it's either a lecture or a ticket. You pick one. Or let me bounce.
Yeah. So,
but you're not getting both. So yeah,
we will hear more on how this develops. But
he's filing a civil lawsuit, and I hope he gets.
Oh, absolutely. And I believe the officers were suspended.
Ben
so
Crump needs to go ahead and just pop up and be right there. All of that. So yeah, I'm waiting. I'm curious to see how that's going to pan out as well.
Very much, because he also made a good point. What if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? What if I couldn't call on my attorney? What if, you know what I mean? Like what would have happened? What could have happened?
But the thing of it is we know the answer to that question. There's people that are blinded to not knowing the answer and still live in this veil of. And
unfortunately, a lot of them were wearing badges too.
What's that?
I said, and unfortunately, a lot of those are wearing badges too.
Yeah, like they don't see it. They don't see it. They don't want to acknowledge it. They don't think it exists. So,
Yeah.
And you're in Florida. So what are we expecting?
We already know Florida and Texas, not
what are we knowing? Yeah, what are we doing?
Not happening.
We already know.
The Super Bowl for this year in New Orleans, halftime show announced Kendrick Lamar, which brought on a big debate on people that, of course, everybody I believe loves Kendrick, loves his music, but some people, of course, wanted to have Lil Wayne, the Hot Boys, Cash Money. I, for one, would have enjoyed a Cash Money No Limit reunion, but at the same time, it ain't my choice. It's a halftime show.
My thing is, this is the culmination of the headstone of Drake. You have literally got the most relevant rapper and the hottest track to do a Super Bowl within the same time frame that he puts a song out. It gets no better than this. This is to announce that was huge to me. And I understand the New Orleans folks, but no one's going to sit through halftime with Lick 'em Like a Lollipop. No one's going to sit through we haven't heard from Lil Wayne since 18. Like, he has not put out anything new. He's added on to other people's tracks. And not to mention, he's part of that whole Young Money thing with Drake, too. And Drake, because of his situation, we want no parts of that. Now, I'm not. Who's to say that Kendrick will not bring out Lil Wayne?
I'm sure he might even have a whole New Orleans band there, too.
He's definitely going to have HBCU
sure.
band. And they better play Not Like Us, because that's going to be the college song for the HBCUs. They're going to do it. So he's going to have all that. And if you don't think this man cannot carry a Super Bowl halftime show, I need you to go back just for the mini concert that was on Juneteenth that he did and see how that looks.
He can absolutely.
There's no question that production or who's going to bring on is going to be it's going to be next level. And I'm with it. And to me, like I said, this is a culmination of the headstone engravement of once was Aubrey Graham. This seals the whole battle. Coffin closed, he was buried. Headstone is now paid for with the Super Bowl.
So is Aubrey canceled now?
It's not that he's canceled, but it's just another slap in the face. I mean, you couldn't even have the Fanatic CEO play the song when he dropped the video on Juneteenth when he had his white party. So now you're on a world stage of the Super Bowl where everyone around the world, this is not just America,
around the world,
seeing you on a main stage, singing, rapping, Not Like Us. Headstone engravement. We're done. This is it. Final chapter. We move on.
It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be intense there.
And not for nothing, Kendrick dropped a new track tonight. He dropped.
Oh, he did?
Tonight. Oh yeah, he sure did. Just anybody got time tonight? Go peep it out. He dropped a track tonight. So,
I'm gonna have to check that after the show.
Is at the culmination of he is at the height of where we're at right now, trending. So why would you get the person that's the most relative in the hip hop game right now to perform?
Yeah.
And isn't Wayne in shape to do a show? He can do.
Is anybody from No Limit?
He does all that, but is he really the one to be bringing? And I get it.
I mean, I did see some of the Cash Money. We went to Cash Money here, or to Juvenile. That was great. I don't see that being a halftime show.
I don't see it either. And not for nothing either. When Beyonce did the halftime show in New Orleans for Super Bowl, no one said a peep.
Yeah.
And that was at a time where
because it was Beyonce.
But she wasn't from New Orleans. She's from Texas.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Y'all didn't say nothing about that, but y'all got a problem with this?
Well, it's 2024 now, and they got problems with everything. Everybody has a problem with something. It just you just
I'm seeing grown men argue about Lil Wayne and all of that kind of stuff. It's just crazy. Hip hop has transited from this to where we are now. Let's make it relevant. Kurt and you know, Jay-Z mentioned Kendrick, and it wasn't even his decision to have Kendrick. They vote on that, and they voted Kendrick Lamar. So
I think they give options to the committee, and then the committee has
doing that, you know.
Yeah. So
I mean, like
it is.
If anything, this is the beef that really is a beef of petty that goes to the highest level ever. I've never seen anything like this. That you have literally killed this guy with the headstone now. Headstone is the dash and done. 2025. February 8th, 2025. From the time Aubrey was born to the time it ended. That's it.
Oh my goodness.
He definitely gonna have those HBCU bands on playing that now. Like, cause I already know. Like, he brings that. Oh my God.
It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. Speaking of other things going down. Shannon Sharp was trending this morning, and oh boy, he was trending for being live on Instagram, apparently not knowing he was live as he could be heard having relations with a female, Miss Michelle, because he definitely said her name a handful of times.
My Michelle.
My Michelle.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got into some hot people. Apparently, we're all, Twitter was ablaze, social media was ablaze.
Yeah, I mean, the trending topic was Michelle.
And of course, him and Ocho had to have a special version of Nightcap, an emergency Nightcap tonight to go over it. Because originally, this is what Shannon Sharp's Instagram posted, that he was hacked this morning, that his team and him are working vigorously to figure this out. Now, when I first said that, somebody had posted this and I was like, vigorously? Who says vigorously these days anymore? Not a lot, and not maybe in this predicament. So I was like, huh. Interesting.
His PR
come
team.
to find out, his assistant Jordan was the one who not only stopped the live from happening because he has access to Shay's Instagrams and social medias, but he also had posted this immediately for him. Shannon came out saying, listen, I gotta just be real. I can't lie like it happened. I don't know how I turned the phone. I mean, this is,
I went live either. That's still a mystery to me. I mean, I get that your phone opens up the Instagram app and it can go to the photos.
But you gotta you gotta hit a couple times. Like, are you sure you want to go live?
So
yeah.
I don't. If his assistant has his account or something, or do they have a mirrored phone? Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to blame the assistant, but it's just the weirdest thing ever. I don't ever want to hear anything like that. Shout out to my girl Carmen, who sent it to me all the way from Maryland. I opened up my DMs and saw the gossip on that,
and it was there.
And was just like, oh my God. And one thing for sure is we all confirmed that it was him. It definitely was him.
Yes.
I'm really upset about the 1 minute and 3 seconds it lasted. I don't ever want to hear it again.
He of course says that his assistant Jordan was able to turn it off early. Like, so he says, and of course throughout his emergency broadcast, he's sponsorships for these ED pills by Roe, because that's what he takes, and all he's doing is flashing these pills throughout the show.
Well, they don't last him long, and I'm sorry, if you listen to that thing, he finished. He finished. You could tell when it started and when it ended, and that was it. Now, I don't know if that was round 1, round 2, round 3. I don't know, but he finished. If you listen to it carefully, because people were talking about it sounded like a dog and all this country dog, and it sounded like all these different types of species of dog. And I'm like, did I listen to the same thing? And then when I listened, I was like, oh, that's what's going on.
So, all I heard was like old Black and Mild, like throat.
First of all, I thought he was on the treadmill. I texted you. I said, well, I thought he was on the treadmill working out. When I first heard the heavy breathing, I thought maybe he was just, on his treadmill, because all you see is the ceiling fan or whatever. And I'm thinking he's on his treadmill. And then you hear the woman. I'm like, oh.
I'm saying, Natalie, she said, I didn't say. We'll get you caught up, Natalie. We'll get you caught up. What's up, Dre Day?
I think it's on YouTube, quite honestly. If you go on YouTube, I bet you it's on there, because
there might be a compilation now.
Yeah. And I follow Shannon, but I wasn't on morning enough to see his live. And when he does go live, I never really tap into it.
He doesn't go live. He said that he's never gone live before.
He's been live before.
Has he?
What I should have done was,
or has Jordan, the assistant who's taking all the weight for all this, is he the one?
I mean, I felt him though when he said his family, his mom, and all that. That's got to be rather embarrassing. I mean, I can
absolutely his grown kids. He said he's a grandfather.
Yeah, I mean, that's devastating to have that happen.
He said Coach Prime had hit him. Like, people were FaceTiming him that never FaceTime him because they're like, what is this?
I guess so. I mean, that's just, and they know him to know that he was out of character, and he described how out of character that was for him. And I get it, like, that's crazy, because you're at 56 years old, and this is what's happening. I can understand if you was like 23, 24, like just some young stuff, or you were an OnlyFans person, or you were on the hub and the other stuff, but you're not. But I did feel, I felt it when he said, I feel, my mom, my daughter, I'm a grandfather. Yeah. I'm like, ooh. And the thing of it is once it's on the internet, it lives forever. It's not a thing that you can go and
not going anywhere.
Cease and desist. People screen record it, and it forever lives on their phones if they choose to, or uploaded their cloud if they choose to.
He was talking about going to get a flip phone or one of those. Yeah. He needs a flip phone so he knows when it's closed. It's closed.
How about you turn your phone off, sir? Put it on,
or leave it in another room, sir. Leave it in a different room. Why?
Why do you guys have it off? If it's that serious, like have it.
Why is it in bed with you?
My thing is, if it was going like, doesn't the camera stay on? Did you not notice it? Listen, Michelle must
The
just be
camera
that
was
blind
on, but
that
it
she
was
was
like
distracted.
against whatever like 1990s house decor that was. Like it was like a
But the thing of it
brown
is
door.
like you see, I don't know. The camera's on though for us to see everything. And you
Right,
didn't
but it's
notice it mirrored?
no, but I
Like
don't think
it
it's
never
on.
faded
I
to
think it's
black. It never went down. It never.
sure.
It
Well,
was
I don't.
just
Yeah.
going. So
Clearly,
that
he was
Michelle
busy. He had
definitely
no
has a
time to
great.
notice if his camera was
Michelle has
on.
great distraction power. Is all I can say. Like he didn't look around. He
My
was very
Michelle.
focused and in
My
his thing.
Michelle. My
He was in it.
Michelle.
My Michelle, man, called her name and everything. Like cheese and rice.
So of course,
This
they're
is
already
deep.
writing off this. They've got the sponsorship for the ED meds. They've already got t-shirts and sweatshirts with 69 and
I wasn't mad at
whatever
when he said the
something
mattress
else.
companies need to reach out. If there's a good
Yeah,
mattress company out there that could do, you know what I mean?
this is
Mambo
it. This is
stuff,
like
like go
maybe this
for
is
it.
the plug he didn't know he needed.
And my only thought is, what's Stephen A. gonna say? And I think he honestly had to have some accountability because he's on an ESPN contract. He's still a brand. He's still an image to ESPN. What's that
Yeah.
look like?
What's that look like?
Yeah, that's devastating. Like I said, it's funny, but it's not funny. It's devastating. Like I
Right.
don't
It
know.
was more shocking, funny, but if you were in that place, I don't, And of
First
course,
of all, I wouldn't
Ocho.
even been in that place for number one. Number two, I always check my phone and make sure it's off or disabled
My
or do
phone's
not
not
disturb or
next to
something.
me like that in my bed with other people.
I mean, it's on a nightstand or something, but I mean, I don't know. I just find it weird that the phone went live all of a sudden. I've never
Or
seen
she
it happen
didn't
like
know.
that.
No, neither of them noticed that the phone was
Well, clearly they were distracted. It was very heavily intense. A lot of intense breathing and heart rates going.
a
You
lot
know,
of intense.
it was a very intense workout for a minute.
My
and
Michelle.
change. But I mean,
My
it was enough
Michelle.
to have a good time. But they just, yeah. I don't know. It's too bad. It's too bad. I didn't have it on my bingo card. I didn't have it.
I'm glad that he
my
came
wheelhouse.
out. I'm glad that he came out and gave the truth, spoke his truth. But yeah, that was definitely not on my bingo card. September.
Oh my God,
definitely.
Halloween is going to be so entertaining. You can either do the green sweatsuit outfit with the orange bag,
With the
or
orange
you
bag.
could do this with one of the My Michelle.
I'm just gonna put My Michelle on a hoodie and just leave it at that.
Like
Like
a hoodie and some other stuff, and just have dummy legs up on your whatever the case may be. I don't know, but the Halloween is gonna be popping. There's costume ideas rolling. The wheels are spinning. The creativity's coming.
I got to get on it because we're almost to October. We are basically halfway through September.
I know.
And then it's October. We're going to get to it, but we got basketball coming up. We've got hockey coming. We've got the best part of the season of the year happening at the end of October. We have like the quadfecta. Is there such thing as a quadfecta? Yeah. Quadfecta, whatever. It's intense. I don't know why this year has flown by, but it is. It's not flying by for one person who not only sucked in his game this weekend, but also is now getting another lawsuit filed against him in Texas from a 2020 incident. This one doesn't sound good. The accuser accuses him basically of raping her after exchanging conversation through text for several months. She invites him over for dinner, blah, blah, blah. He wants a massage. He's naked on her bed. And then basically he forces himself on her. I don't know what it is with him and masseuse and massages. You can't just get a girl a regular way. Like
that's his foreplay. But here's the thing. He had that terrible game against Dallas. Talk about dog walked. He got dog walked, literally.
Yes.
And the thing of it is this is a very convenient distraction from his poor performance. Not to say it didn't happen, because if it could have happened, it totally could have. And, I want to preface by saying that is never okay. He is wrong for any actions or anything that he did to this poor woman. And I just wonder what triggered her to speak up now when everyone else had the list of things.
That part, because she has the same attorney. She's got the same attorney as all the other ones. Like, so why weren't she part of that?
Ready to finally speak her truth or something, or she was one of the few that was like, I'm not ready to talk about this. And then season started. Deshaun Watson was ringing through on the TV about his poor performance on it, and she just went through it.
What's that, Miss Bondi? Definitely distracts.
Yeah, it is. And it distracts from the fact that he sucked. And no one wants to talk about that now. But I'm going to talk about it. I have Deshaun Watson on my fantasy league. I did not start Deshaun
Ooh.
Watson. I didn't start him. I got Jalen
Okay, well,
Hurts.
that's
Let's
good.
be clear. I did not start
I
him,
mean,
but now
like
I'm gonna have to
most
start some
quarterbacks
others.
stunk it up, unless you had Josh Allen. I think all quarterbacks stunk it up. Didn't
Brock Purdy didn't suck it up, I
outperform.
don't think. And I think Aaron Rodgers did all right, but I don't know. We'll talk about it. But at the same time, what I am saying is anybody that invested into Cleveland on Sunday to see that piss poor performance, this is now the current distraction to take away from that. But I'm still on it. I'm staying with it. He sucked. And against the Cowboys, no less. And I was really upset about that because it was the Cowboys. You have validated Dak Prescott's money by
Made him look
looking like
good when he
crap
didn't do nothing
on
either.
first week of NFL Sunday.
Yeah. What's funny is there was a meme, speaking of the debate again, is that there was a meme that said the only dogs and cats dying in Ohio are the Browns and the
Bengals. I saw that too. Bengals did terrible as well. Ohio's just not. Springfield's just not looking good. Cleveland's not looking good. Cincinnati's not looking good. Ohio's just not looking good right now. And they got to redeem
Ohio's not the
themselves. Now,
place.
Guardians, I don't know what their Guardians are doing out there for baseball. But yeah.
Miss Bondi said you are not holding back on
I got him on
Watson.
fantasy league. I didn't play him, but it's just the fact that, he literally got dog walked, and now it comes out with this story. It's like, oh, okay, so we're not going to talk about the week one. You want us to talk about this? No, I'm not talking about that. We already knew
I want to talk about your performance.
We're talking about the poor performance. This is Girl Chat Sports. We're talking about the poor performance this man had on week one. And I'm glad I didn't start him because I had Jalen Hurts. I was like, I'm not going to. I was curious to see what Deshaun Watson was going to do. And now I got my answer. Now I got to shop for other quarterbacks and flex them. I should have put Derek Carr in. Like, Carr had an amazing game against useless Panthers that don't have
He sure did.
But you would have racked up points that week, and then you could have benched him or got rid of him.
We're going to get into fantasy football in a little bit. We do want to touch on our Las Vegas sports real quick because there is a lot of stuff happening. Of course, today our aces were in Indiana.
Yes.
Asia Wilson set a new WNBA record for most points ever in a season. She beats out Jewel Lloyd, who was the former with 939. I believe Asia has like 50 points left to break 1,000 for the season, which is
that's where we're sitting.
Add this to the MVP list. I mean,
and let's just welcome her back because she played against the Fever, dominated, and she did not play against the Liberty. And that's the game, we need to talk about because Chelsea Gray actually had 11 points tonight. So where were you the other night against the Liberty? Sitting on 3 points. I mean, here's 32 minutes.
They played better than I thought for not having Asia Wilson. I mean, they only lost by a hand.
Second half.
But I'm saying like the whole game. I know some people were expecting a blowout, some people were just expecting a loss, but they really did play better. They played better than I thought they would as a team without Asia. I mean, you're thinking of someone who scores 27, 30 some points a game for you, not being there, who's all stepping up, yet people were stepping up. And that was good to see.
Came from a 20-point deficit, 12-point deficit, then to 1. And it was just little ticky-tacky stuff.
Yeah.
And I agree with Ms. Bondi. She is the best player in the world for women's basketball. This is the girl. Mm-hmm. She is that chick. Asia's always going to be Asia. We never have to worry about her. We worry about the boot and what they're going to do against the Liberty, but the rest of those players have to step up. Chelsea Gray playing for 32 minutes and only scored 3 points made no sense. Why is Kate Martin not in this game? Why are they not rotating the bench like other teams do?
I'm going to go check
better performances from Chelsea tonight. I think a little bit better performance from Jackie tonight. Kia Stokes even had 3 points and 6 rebounds. I mean, better performance for her to start tonight against the Fever. She didn't do that with the Liberty. We put Megan in.
Kelsey Plum definitely stepped up. Megan had some points. Up for the
Liberty game. She was the top.
Kate Martin only had 5 minutes, which is crazy. Who? Kate Martin only had 5 minutes.
Yeah, she only had like a couple minutes in that Liberty game too.
Well, let's talk about Sydney's been stepping up. Whether she got the 9 minutes last game, she got, I think, probably 5 or 6. I mean, she's really put Sydney in more. That's all.
Sydney's a short-term player, which I don't think she needs to play long. She's effective when she can steal the ball, but she's mighty aggressive and can draw too many fouls. I don't want to send people to the line messing with her. She's good for a good spurt, but I say rotate the rest of your bench. Why is Kristen Bell not playing? And again,
have we seen her once?
Going back to Kate, like you drafted this rookie when she wasn't even expected to get drafted. She starts early in the season, coming off the bench, balling out with fire energy, and then all of a sudden there's a shift where she doesn't play at all or play a few minutes. Like something's going on. I don't know, but
They're still working out kinks. So, but
okay.
so they play again in Indiana on Friday. They're back home Sunday versus Connecticut. And then the final game of the regular season, which is also a fan appreciation night, is on Thursday here at Michelob Ultra Arena. What was dope today was, of course, you saw our announcers. They came out with their white t-shirts for Asia because Asia was back in the white tee.
Yeah.
It was also dope to see Sydney out here with her Kamala shirt on, which I've seen the same shirt on a couple people, I think, for the Storm.
We love it.
And a couple other teams. I love it. I love to see women using their platform to make their voices heard in the political respect as well. But what's also cool during the postseason interviews was that it was AC and Asia, and like AC's a Cancer, like me. She got emotional just speaking about Asia because we're asking about like, what does it mean to be playing with her? What does it mean for her to make this, to have such a great feat like she did today? And she's just giving all her flowers. So it was great. Like they both were emotional. It almost looks like they were losing in this picture, but they won, but they were both so just having happy moments. And it was really sweet to see just how close the team is, and basically saying that, Asia, for how heavy her crown is, she wears it, she comes to work, she wants to kill it every day. And it was just,
and she does, and not for nothing. Alicia Clark had a great game tonight too, as well. She
did.
Too. She had a good double-digit night as well. So they look better. The starters look better. It wasn't just one dominating. It was a kind of a collaborative effort. But I will say, with women empowerment, you say that to say what Kathy Engelberg did. We gotta talk
I got
about
that
it.
too. I got that too.
We gotta talk about it. I guess
why. Yeah. Let me find it.
I think it just it was talking about the rivalry.
Yeah,
there we go.
So she was asked about the rivalry and basically what the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese bringing on race, misogyny, harassment, and the darker side of the league when people are focusing on social media. And she kind of just didn't answer the question like she should have. She talked about
it. She deflected and talked about Bird and Magic, which some people may not even know about that back in the day.
Right, and they didn't have social media back then.
Because there was, and then she tried to deflect it. Well, there's no social media for them to get attacked, and these girls get attacked all the time on social media. Then she's telling the women they should not get distracted by it. They should just ignore what people are saying. Listen,
how do you ignore?
How do you do that? I would really like to know.
I mean, she literally said if someone is typing something you wouldn't ask their advice for, ignore it.
Ignore it. Like
that's the whole point of social media, is that you're seeing people
what they go through on social media for the attacks. That's another thing. You're right.
Right, Alicia. It's a very weird response she took. It was
a weird response.
So
it wasn't a weird response. It was listen, I'm not even gonna go there. But it was a corporate response. I get it.
It was disappointing. The WNBA, the Players Association came out. Most players in the league posted something on their stories or Instagram, but they're saying that there is absolutely no place in the sport or in life for vile hate, racist language, homophobic comments, misogynistic attacks on our players that they are facing on social media. It's not about the rivalries or iconic personalities fueling a business model. This is the kind of toxic fandom that should never be tolerated or left unchecked. It demands immediate action and frankly should have been addressed a long time ago. Let's be clear, fans should lift up the game, not tear down the very people who bring it to life, etc., etc.
And that's the statement she should have made. And honestly, not for nothing, the bigotry can be on both sides of the coin. We have Black people, we have people of other ethnicities that hate on Caitlin Clark as well, and probably have said some things too. And that is still not okay. She could have equally had a balance to both of that. The hate is real on whoever, and ended it, but she deflected and went to the dark ages of Magic. Not that it's dark ages, but for us and younger people,
a long time ago. Miss Bondi said disappointing moment for her. She completely deflected that she which is something that she helped create some of these narratives. And
she did. And the thing of it is Caitlin Clark is not going to be the type of person to have the social responsibility to speak out and say anything to that. She just wants to play ball if that's what she's at right now on her point. But the fact that you are the WNBA president, you do have a moral obligation to your
To
predominantly
address
Black
that.
and LGBTQ plus players to say something. And to do that was just, I'm sorry. We shopping for another one of you in the near future.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the person that we want. You already gave Kelsey Plum a small trophy first go around. That's strike number one, you know. And I don't know if
Not
this possibly is
the
strike 2
All-Star
and 3.
MVP
So I'm not
trophy.
throwing, you know what I mean? And so you got to do better. And I thought she would have known better. You know, we thought
And
that
she
would
had to have
come.
known, because that question has been a coming and coming. She sees
Excuse
it
me,
on
the
social
Atlanta
media.
Dream. Let's talk about the
Right.
Atlanta Dream. When the Atlanta Dream had their owner that they had, who was a woman and doing the stuff that she stood on, you did something
She got
about that,
outed.
right? But you can't talk
Yep.
about this. Like, come on, it's time to shop. That's strike 3 for me. I'm sorry. That's strike 3. That's 2 and 3 on her for me. Like, you knew what to say and you did not say it, and I don't know why you didn't choose to say it. I don't know if it's the federal case with the Erica still going. I don't know what's going on, but you had an
Right. We
obligation
need
to
more
say it then and
info.
there.
We need stuff going.
You were
We
able
need
to
to know
quash that
more.
dream stuff, but you can't talk about this. Like, it's just weird how some of these commissioners of leagues and GMs and all of this kind of stuff, when it comes
Because
to
they
leagues,
try and stay in a neutral place, and you can't be neutral when it comes to some things like this. You can't.
well, we need
There's
somebody that it can be neutral, but can also be morally right of what's right and wrong. There is no gray in that. And that was wrong that she didn't say anything for what the girls go through. And shout out to the Aces for speaking up about this situation and
Yeah.
having their input on that, you know. This
Yeah,
it
there
was
were a lot of
disrespectful
quotes
even to somebody
flying
like
around
Asia
from them.
Wilson. You think Asia Wilson don't get no hate and she's not reading it on her thing and dismiss it by
Absolutely.
saying just don't read it? Like, no. So you're dismissive
No.
of their feelings too. So do you care about the
Yeah.
girls or nah? No, she gotta go. I'm sorry, I'm at that point now. I had moved over to 3 strikes and now she gotta go.
And now she out. Okay, we got it. We got it. But before we, so we also got a couple other Vegas things happening. We got a big fight happening this weekend on Saturday. It's the Mexican Independence Day. Noche
Yes.
UFC 306, the first live sporting event being held at the Sphere. Of course, we had the NHL draft there. But this is the first live sporting event being held at the Sphere, Saturday, 7 p.m. If you're not going, stay away from Spring Mountain, or what is that over there? That's gonna be crazy packed over there by the Venetian on Saturday
You need to stay
night.
away between Spring Mountain, it turns into Twain, and the wing and
Paradise,
Koval.
Koval,
All of that over there is going to be a
Harmon. No,
cluster.
that's not Harmon. It's gonna be
Yeah, all of that
ridiculous.
Koval and
It's
Spring
gonna be
Mountain
ridiculous.
area is going to be a cluster.
Or the fact that it's Mexican Independence Day, so there's gonna be a bunch. I mean, it's gonna be crazy out here anyway. So
Oh, it's going to be
go
packed.
wild.
That's a good
Yeah.
weekend, but it's going to be packed.
One thing that Dana is doing, Dana is offering 25. So apparently, with this whole Sphere thing happening, they've got basically a movie that's going to be playing, and it's going to air in between the bouts, along with 10 different worlds that will play on the screen during the fights. Of course, if you've seen the pictures from inside the Sphere, you know it's going to be crazy, crazy wild. There's going to be Easter eggs in each of the films, and he mentioned that he will offer $25,000 for someone that finds all the Easter eggs in each of the films, parts of the film. I'm not sure how that works, but if you're going, maybe you can make some extra cash. You never know. It'll be wild. Also, the Tropicana's demolition, destruction, implosion is finally taking place. It's happening October 9th, 2:30 in the morning. It's a Wednesday, 2:30 in the morning. It's finally going down. It doesn't look like this right now. It looks a lot like just a bare piece of metal, but it's imploding Wednesday. They've got like watch parties at the foundation room, but there hasn't been an implosion here for like 20 years or something.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. So that's gonna be interesting. You've got
Mirage will be next with that Hard Rock thing.
The Golden Knights, their preseason starts here at home on the 25th. It's like in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
I can't believe it.
It's already time. Their first home game for the season, the official season start, is October 9th.
Really?
Less than a month is the start.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we talk about these lights? Does the lights go to a USL championship?
They were in the playoffs. I didn't catch up this week. I don't know.
The last thing I saw was a USL championship match. And if they are doing that, big ups to them, because that is so unheard of from the lights. I just had to prop them up because we don't talk about the lights as much as we used to. We definitely have to go out to a match. But if they have advanced
because
to a
this
level of
super hot weather, it just was so crazy.
It was so hot. It was just diabolical. And thank God yesterday was the last day of the hundreds. I mean, I wanted to throw a party so bad. I wanted to just have an ice bath party.
Listen.
But we finally got across the hurdle. We made it. We survived this diabolical summer. But I just think with the lights, I look it up, Mel, because I think that they are.
So we are 6th place in the Western Conference standings.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know. There has been no clinching of playoffs yet.
Okay.
Except for one team on the Eastern Conference. So we're 6th. It looks like we draw. We actually lost one, 2-3 games ago. Won the last 2, had a draw, or 1-2, and then had a draw. So we're 27. We got, let's see. Yeah, so we're behind Memphis, above Phoenix and Tulsa. So it's 1 through 8 that make the playoffs. And we're 6 right now.
Okay, I could have sworn I saw something about them in a championship round. Maybe it was for some different type of.
Or maybe it's just because it's called the Championship League, the USL Championship League.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. It happens.
Yeah.
The NFL is back.
Yes, it is.
Back. I'll just speak on my Seahawks real quick because after a terrible first half, giving up 2 safeties, 2 in the first half, Seahawks managed to dig deep and pull off a win. Get this, Geno Smith, 12-year vet, he not only rushed for his longest career rush, but also the longest career rush for a Seahawks quarterback since 1984. He rushed for 34 yards on a play. So, hey, go ahead, Geno. They ended up back beating Bo Nix and the Broncos. And hey, I'll take it. But probably one of the highlights of the game was seeing Marshawn Lynch on the field with Mike McDonald during the game. Like, we're live in the first quarter, and Marshawn's like giving him a massage, like just telling him to relax, like it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Wild.
Right.
I mean, hey, when Marshawn's there, you can expect the unexpected. And then we, of course, go to New England next weekend and play the Patriots. So, yeah. But Mike McDonald, first one as a head coach for the Seahawks. I'll take it.
Hey, and you guys got a W. And I mean, against the AFC team. Hey, Lee. Hey, I'm not mad at it because the Denver Broncos lost. So we weren't the only ones in the AFC West taking an L that day, you know? So I'm totally fine with that. And
shout out to the Lions for beating
Man, that was close too.
That was super close.
That was close. Yeah.
We saw a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, look at Saquon Barkley is back and ran for 3 touchdowns.
Take that, Giants.
3 touchdowns for the Eagles.
Well, I know
in Brazil.
Out there just
in Brazil. Mind you, people were skipping him in the fantasy football draft.
I don't know why they were doing that. I would have picked him up.
I saw it happen. I mean, I would have picked him up, but I saw it happen. I saw it with my own eyes.
Man, I would have picked him up. Look at that.
Look at that. We also saw Aaron Rodgers get back. They, of course, did not win their game, but he had a full game.
He did, and he did not get hurt.
So that's a win, right? That's a win for him. But he's, not satisfied, of course, and he wants to do better. But hey, listen.
Like passing
the Niners gave it to him
on fantasy. Like, come on. All my wide receivers are getting no kind of looks, man. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Well, let me tell you about one of my wide receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., who was in top 4 pick of the NFL draft, was supposed to be one of the highest picks off the draft in fantasy football for wide receivers. He got I think 1 point something points. Like, he had 0 looks, 1 look maybe. Kyler Murray, I don't know if there's some beef or some stuff happening, but he basically went on notice saying, it's not my job to force a target to him. It's not my job to make sure he gets passes. So how does this look for my fantasy team? Are you going to get it together? Is this going to happen? Are we catching passes, Marvin, or do I need to figure something else out?
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Who doesn't need the ball in him? Who doesn't give the ball to him? Like you're giving
because they
him
got
no
that
looks?
Williams they got that Williams kid who got all the passes.
And then Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. This is your target, and you ain't giving him the ball. Like
I'm sorry, Josh Allen gets 4 touchdowns, doesn't give nothing for James Cook. I had James Cook waiting to run it in, and why, Josh? Like, can you share some wealth with it?
I really was counting on that Amon Ra. Shout out to Sarah for beating me, and I also thought I had a chance with her.
And shout out to Heather for beating me.
She had Ikely sitting on her bench, not knowing that he balled the heck out his debut. That rookie,
yeah.
like you probably ain't gonna see that again, but he did ball out. But
listen,
man, she got me.
Shout out to Heather, because I'll tell you this: we all know here, Monday Night Football, when you're playing in fantasy football, you have no one that you're subbing in or out because you've already used. I mean, everybody's been taken.
Pretty much.
So Heather had CMC. We all know that CMC was ruled out like at the very last minute. Heather picked him up. Heather picked Jordan Mason up with the quickness and then beat me because this man went wild too and went for like 140 some yards and got a touchdown in Christian McCaffrey's place. So big up for Heather because she was on top of it.
Hey, my squad was already locked up. There was nothing I could do. I had nobody for Monday night. So
what's good, Jose? Straight Bet Sports.
All I had was Garrett Wilson. What's up, Jose? Long time no.
I know he was beefing with Quan and his Jets and the Niners, but you know. Anyways, it's the first week of football. Other things that were pretty interesting, I think that I found interesting: the Buffalo Bills uniforms. It looks like they had no pants on, so I don't know who thought these jerseys were great. I still don't like them, and
Can we just touch on for a moment too Lamar Jackson's piss poor performance against the Chiefs and the foot situation?
The toe. Wear white shoes. Period.
Listen, white shoes is what Pat Mahomes advised. However, that was too little, too late. And not for nothing, I felt like Kansas City really didn't play that great either. But at the same time,
except for their new rookie who's flying.
You were so close to coming to the end of this game doing something, but it was Lamar Jackson's fault the whole time. These passes you were making were trash. Get your passing game back on. You were not nailing your targets. You were overthrowing the ball. You were too short on the ball. And then it was just like you were throwing it to no one. Like, I don't understand what the hell was going on with that game. That was not the matchup I was expecting for the first night of Monday. I really did not see that.
I mean, it was great that it was close, but that toe, oh man.
That toe thing hurts, but it was Lamar Jackson's fault. I blame him. I'm not even blaming the player. I'm blaming Lamar.
Blame him.
Because you put him in this hole, in this deficit situation.
But we got to talk about Russell Wilson.
Shout out to Justin Fields.
So shout out to Baker Mayfield, too.
Justin Fields' fault the Bears were taken.
Listen.
But look what the Bears did look what the Bears did on Sunday. But Justin Fields.
No, but it didn't have nothing to do with Caleb Williams either.
No.
Caleb Williams had 0 touchdowns, 2 sacks. I think he had 90 yards total in passing. It was all defense. The defense scored 2 pick sixes. Like I have the Bears defense. That was my only saving grace from not getting mollywopped in my guys league, is because I had 50 points from my defense in Chicago. That was the only thing. I still lost, but they gave me a saving grace. Anyways, it's just so injuries. Poor Puka Nacua, he could be out for more than the IR, more than 4 games. That's stuff. We got Jordan Love out for at least a couple weeks, if not more, with an MCL sprain.
What a game on that one too.
Man, Njoku is out for a while. All these MCL sprains is like, you've got tight ends that weren't performing and tight ends that are all getting injured. And of course, Christian McCaffrey may not even be playing this weekend against the Vikings.
Oh, lies. He's playing again too. The tight end pool is terrible. You can't really draft a great tight end. None of those guys are showing up. They're not effective. Even Travis Kelce didn't really get that many catches.
Mark Andrews didn't do nothing either.
It's minimal. None of them are doing anything. I just, it's week 1. I know we're being a little facetious possibly, but, we do care a lot about our fantasy and we want to win.
I know.
So we're very passionate about that kind of stuff. So
one thing about
2, a tide will turn. The Raiders
Hopefully.
are bums, and I am saying that just because we were in our second home stadium in SoFi, beautiful SoFi,
Which
against the
was
Chargers team that owned us.
outnumbering Chargers fans there you guys were. It
And
was
the
all, it
and
was
they owned
majority
us.
black.
They
Yes. It was
owned us. Garner Minshew, you got a lot of work to do. Antonio Pierce, I don't know what to say about you being a coach, making that call of a punt in the fourth quarter down in enemy territory like that. No call has ever been made like that in NFL history for any coach. I mean, I don't know what you were thinking with those few minutes left. The frustration was transferring into players to the point where one player from the Chargers got ejected, our player got ejected, and the fans in the stands started fighting, where Max Crosby was a witness to seeing fans outside fighting. So this was a terrible week one against the division rivalry team when we were starting out looking pretty good. I don't even know who to blame on this. The defense kind of fell apart. Offensively, we're not that
I
great.
mean,
I
I feel
mean,
like here,
shit.
let me just tell you the stats for Minshew. That I want to give him a little support because you're throwing down him pretty hard. He had 257 yards total. He had one touchdown. Yes, he got sacked once, but he went 25 for 33. I
How
mean,
many
those aren't
incompletes did he
bad
have?
numbers, huh?
They're not bad numbers, but it's still a piss poor performance when you're throwing incomplete passes and short passes. And he was doing another thing where I don't know who he was throwing to in late parts of the game when it mattered.
I mean, okay,
Early
when it
first
matters, I'm
half,
like,
he looked
because
great.
really he had 8 missed passes, is what you're saying. Like, he basically had 8 that were missed.
And I think he needs to get it together. I'm not sold on him yet. And I'm being hard as a Raider fan, but we want to win. Like, this is
I hear.
crazy.
Listen, I was
This
stressed
is
for.
literally
I get it.
crazy. And then we fly to Baltimore for week 2. You think we're gonna win that game?
Yeah, Lamar's going to be totally different
And
next
then
game.
week 3 we have the Panthers here at home. Okay, then we can guarantee a W with that
I
one. So
mean,
we'll go 0-2. I'm just gonna say it already. I'm putting it out there. If we beat Baltimore, then I'll take everything I'm saying back. But we're gonna be the same old Raiders right
did
now.
everybody hear that? We're gonna take note on that one, right?
Yeah, take note on it. I said it. You can catch the
One thing
replay.
with football being back means that also the Manning cast is back, and Peyton and Eli are back, and they had Adam Sandler on this week, and
Oh,
they
that's
gave
good for Happy Gilmore.
it was
too,
his
or what?
birthday. It was his birthday, and they gifted him. You know how he always just likes to wear old, like long basketball shorts everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Well, they gifted him a pair of shorts with their faces on it, which was hilarious. We also saw Tom Brady having his first session in the booth. I listened to the broadcast. I didn't
I heard it
see
wasn't
or hear
good.
it. People talk about him stuttering, and I didn't hear that. I mean, it's his first time in the booth. I thought it wasn't bad, so maybe
I thought
I
he was
don't know.
able to read the field a lot better up there and call some stuff that no one would normally see. But they said he was very dry. Now, what I would like to see possibly that would be a ratings boost is if he and Peyton Manning did a show together. Maybe that would be
Yeah, that would be
more of a thing to
interesting.
open up because he's
Or him
just the
and
only
or
player
him
on
with
that.
Eli.
Yeah, or Eli. Like he's the only player on there doing the analytics. And I think if he had another quarterback with him to kind of bring it out of him to kind of come more alive, maybe that'll help. But it's going to take some time. You know,
It'll take some time.
it's a new niche for him.
I don't think I've heard worse. Let's just say I've heard worse from veterans.
Absolutely. He didn't say,
So
shout out to my Dodgers beating the Cubs 10-8 tonight in this 3-game series when we've been losing to the Cubbies the last 2 games. Shout out to Ohtani on his 47th home run for the season.
he had 48 today. He hit 2 home runs today.
Well,
And
the game just ended. Like, oh my God.
48. He's like heading for 50-50 with 48 stolen bases.
Oh yeah, and then
and it's wild.
We just need to win a World Series. I love all these numbers, but it ain't gonna matter if we ain't winning a World Series.
Arlington said that Tom Brady sounded like a 12-year-old child doing it. I don't think he did.
That's too bad.
Of course,
shout out to Arlington.
Natalie swears that he did amazing. Of course,
she could swear he could just blow bubbles.
I mean, he could literally talk in bubble language, and she would.
Let me tell you something. Tom Brady looked amazing. Can we say that he looked amazing in that game? He was dressed impeccably. The suit.
How
was
could you not though? How would
sharp.
he not?
He's beautiful.
He's Tom Brady.
He looked great.
You don't expect him to show up like Jason Kelsey when he had lost his luggage and has to put on a tight ass.
Jason Kelsey looked like he just rolled out of bed and said, "Hey, I'm here. I pod. This is me."
That one button was just begging for life.
Dear life. Fighting for dear life. But you know, it makes it very entertaining and comical. And he's a guy that never cared. He never cared about any image or any of that. This is the same guy that shows up with the flip-flops, the beard gut, the whole thing just coming in like whatever. Right. And Chris Wynn, you posted about the score for Baltimore, 30 points to 0.
30 to
Was that a
6
goose egg?
Ravens, he said. He said 30 to 6 Ravens.
Oh, 30 to 6
But he
Ravens.
also said that Brady was okay, not great. There's only so much you can do as a color commentator, which is very true because you can't do a whole lot. He's like
Oh,
Magic
it's like
Johnson
well, I don't
hosting
think it's as
late
worse
night
as
talk
Magic Johnson's talk show. Magic Johnson's talk show was pretty bad. I mean, he was calling Tia and Tamara more
I
red.
mean, when
They
you
had to
know the
correct his
game,
line.
it's great to be able to have that, just like we're hearing Tony Romo in the booth. I don't think people liked him right off at the bat on game one, but look at him now. A lot of people enjoy listening to Tony when he's covering a game. So
Tom Brady, he's gonna be just fine.
he'll be
But about
just
the
fine.
score of the Ravens, Baltimore 30 and Raiders 6. Oh man.
That's
Hey,
what he said.
I'm not. Hey, I can't knock that. I feel like Daniel Carlson. Oh yeah. Oh my God, Daniel Carlson missing the field goal kick in the first half of the game. Who does that? And it was
There
only
was a lot
32
of
yards.
kickers messing
It
up.
was
I had
32
the
yards. That's nothing for him. That's light. That's what I'm saying. This game was trash. They were bums. I'm so upset. I don't even want to.
but get this. In my fantasy league, if you miss a field goal, the closer it is, the more points you get deducted. It's
Jesus.
terrible.
That's diabolical too, and that's a menacing thing. And you don't expect any of your field goal kickers to miss like that, and they did. There was a whole bunch of misses and opportunities. And I don't know if we need to have the conversation if some of these players need to go back and play in preseason or what, because they're saying
I don't know what it
matters
is.
not. I just feel
Between
like
all the
what's
MCL
up?
sprains in week 1 to injuries starting. I mean, we always have injuries, but it just seems like the more that we don't have preseason, the more injuries we start
The more
getting.
injuries are occurring. Like, what's going on?
I don't know.
But shout out to Chris and his Lions. Yeah, I watched that game. I thought it was.
Thank you,
almost over,
Chris.
but it
That
wasn't.
was the one. I won all my parlay tickets from Thursday, Friday, and Sunday all lost. I had 2 tickets for Monday, and thanks to Detroit winning by 4, I was able to cash them both.
But you gotta admit, Chris, that Amon-Ra St. Brown needed more looks. I
he
swear
did.
to God, I was banking on him that whole time. I said he's gonna throw. Jared Goff, why? Why were you not throwing it to him?
Well,
why?
I mean, I don't catch.
You
I
gave
don't
me
catch
3
on.
points. You gave me 3 points doing that. Like you were not
coverage.
This is the guy. Like I don't understand.
One thing I didn't realize before, because we're gonna start wrapping it up because we're already over now. I mean, this is what happens when we don't get on the show.
Yeah, right. And people are up late with us, so we're just chatting.
I know.
It's 10 to
15. We love you guys.
Yeah.
What I did mention about the NHL season, because it does start on October 8th. Actually, the Golden Knights is the 9th. Well, the Golden Knights have theirs the 9th, but they're playing. The Devils and the Sabres are playing in Prague on the 4th and 5th. So they're having their first international play out, not just Canada international play, they're in Prague for 2 games on the 10th, on the 5th, 4th and the 5th of October, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
And Utah's hockey club wanted to show off their new unis before their season. Listen, hockey in Salt Lake, this is what it looks like.
Okay, it's very vanilla. Moving on.
It looks like mountains.
It's okay. I mean, it's a big Utah for me. Like I feel like they really needed something.
It's
they got to work on that.
Arlington said to fire Justin Tucker. He made him lose a parlay on Thursday night. Ouch.
You know what? And he's supposed to be one of the best kickers in the league. I mean, listen, these guys.
Montgomery rolled in the OT. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
I got Gibbs, and he was just he was average. He hit his points, but nothing crazy.
I needed those points. I really did, and they didn't do nothing for my boy.
Oh, Chris, we already talked about this, but let me just, again, for everybody that's on, replay the music that we started the show off with.
Yeah, play the song.
Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Eat the cat, eat the cat, eat the cat.
So they are TikTok always remains undefeated. I am seeing a lot of TikToks of pet owners saying they're feeding the dog, they're eating the dogs. They're chasing their pets around with spatula and freaking frying
or the
pans.
Pictures
they're
of putting
their pets in pots and closing it. They're doing all these kind of wizardry things with it, and it's just crazy. So TikTok remains undefeated with that kind of stuff, and I love it. I live for it.
We thoroughly enjoyed the debate.
Chris, we talked about this. She dog walked him like we expected. She came with facts. He came with feelings. You know, they tried to say she was all in her feelings. No,
Not
her
even feelings. He
expression.
just came with
And
lies. He came with
did we
lies,
all
more
not catch
lies.
the MFer almost slipped? Thank
Oh,
God we
she
knew what she
sure
was
did.
saying,
Because you know
looking at her
that's
face.
her favorite cuss word that she's
Yes, it
mentioned
is.
before. And
Yes,
she
it
was like,
is.
and this
This mother, she wanted to
she
say
didn't.
it,
She was
and we
like,
knew. She wanted to say it. That's how
former
much she was into
president.
it. You know.
I loved it.
She wanted to say it, but
I
yeah,
loved it.
it was definitely the rumble that we were waiting for. It was worldwide. It's probably one of the most watched debates ever in history because, you know,
I think
of
they said
where
like
we
60
are.
some million or 70 some million. Like it was wild.
And it's
It was
sad and
wild.
unfortunate that that's what it is. You know, I don't even want to get into this, but yeah.
I know. Yeah, we wish she would have said it too.
Nah, she didn't need to say it. She didn't need to say it because the rules are
It was
always
there. We all knew what she was gonna say,
yeah,
and we all
we knew
got
what
it.
she was gonna
Yeah.
say. I did especially love when she said Mr. Former President, because the moderators, let's be clear, you don't need to call him president. You can say former
No.
president. She made it very clear he was former president, and she also made it very clear
And he
to
got
him that he
fired.
is not debating Joe Biden. Let me
And she
remind you,
said,
former president,
yeah.
I am not Joe Biden. You are debating
And she said
me.
81 million people fired you from your
Yes,
job.
81 million people
And
fired,
you're
and they
trying
did.
to, and you can't get over it because he swore that he still won 2020. I was asked specifically by the moderators, so are you saying that you didn't win? Oh, I'm not saying that. 2020. He still believes he won 2020. So
Yeah.
a shit show.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, some girl power. We want to give it up also to Flavor Flav. The VMAs were tonight. He actually gave Jordan Childs her bronze clock. So they did that on stage, which is super dope. Alex Morgan announced she's having a second child. She's expecting, but she also played her final game on Sunday for the NWSL. Her career has been amazing.
It has.
On that note, there's a movie on Netflix about Hope Solo. I couldn't stand it because I have people that know her, and there's a lot of stuff left out, I think, about her and her husband Jeremy's drinking. And they try to paint her as this, but I like the part about the fight for women's equality, but they make it sound like now everybody is against her, like Rapinoe and everybody else in those teams don't talk to her. Well, it could be having to do with some other things. But anyways.
It could.
This one, shout out to John Weeks who gave this one to me. There was the first Black female fishing team from North Carolina made history by winning their first deep sea fishing tournament. Look at that. Could you imagine? I love it.
And deep sea fishing is one of those things that it is a special type of skill to be on a boat like that and go out in the middle.
That's when you've got that whole harness to hold your rod.
It's tough. And to pull something like that out, man. And you said black wrong. You have to say it like Trump. Block. The first block.
The first block.
I don't know why he's dragging that like that.
And because it is football season, we have to remind you guys that there's 15 women that hold full-time coaching positions in the league, the most for any male professional sports league. They're listed there on the side for those that are viewing. It's just great to see this many women holding down these jobs, and there should be more. So we're looking forward. We're looking forward to more. And big things to Nelly, because we got to give up some girl power since it's political time. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was jumping the battery for a chief of staff when it was when they had a dead battery. What's crazy? Look at this picture. Not only are there cops and security and a guy in a suit, I think that's her next to her, but they're watching her do this. She's the one jumping the battery here. Wild. Takes a woman sometimes to do the job.
Well, look where we're at. It's going to take a woman to fix everything we've got going on. It always takes a woman. Women are
absolutely. Arlington asked that we watched the Nightcap show. Arlington, you can rewind or replay.
Yes, we watched the Nightcap show, and yes,
we had a full discussion on
entertained by the whole live situation.
Mama Michelle.
A minute and 3 seconds is quite not enough time, and I think he finished in that video. But whatever, everybody can debate me later. But catch us on the recap as we talked about that as well.
Yes. Chris did say that he did watch the Hope Soul doc, yes, and yes, there was definitely some missing things. Her and listen, we can have that sidebar discussion off there, but yes,
Yeah, I didn't watch it yet. I was watching that other.
It was
Perfect Couple
very, it was
series they have on
painted
there.
very in favor of her. She's had a lot more issues than just the ones that were
Yeah.
shown.
Well, Netflix is
on-
not going to show all of that. She probably sat down with them and said, "This is what we're going to do."
Of course.
Yeah.
Anyways, hey guys, that's the show. Thank you for having us back. You know,
Yes.
we like to, but sometimes lives, and we got to keep on doing other things in our life as well. We love to have our shows. We'll keep you informed. Make sure you
Yes.
follow Girl Chat. Subscribe to our YouTube because you'll know when we come back on. You'll get an alert. You'll see it. Follow us on all social media at Girl Chat Sports. We appreciate everybody. We love y'all. and we'll
Joining
see
it
you
after
again
dark
soon.
too, man.
All
late.
right. Yeah. After dark. Hey.
I know.
Bye.
Bye.